Wolves of Wind Book 1, Feathers, Chapter 8, Flight. Rain flew through the dark pine trees, twisting her body into thin-spaced barrel rolls as she raced to keep up with her mentor. Grass had taken her to the thickest part of the forest for night flying practice, and Rain was starting to wonder if Grass even wanted her to succeed. She hoped he did. Rain tucked her wings and dove down to the forest floor, skimming the bottom. She knew that she could gain a little more speed and hopefully sweep herself up and tackle Grass from underneath. That's what he had told her to do. Rain felt that she had gone far enough and pulled herself back up to the higher level of the pine forest. But for some reason, Grass wasn't there. She felt her heart skip a beat as she realized that she was no longer in the pine forest, but instead the oak forest that lined the border camp. She called out into the darkness for Grass as she realized that there was still one murderer on the loose. Had it gotten him? Surely she would have heard a yelp. Rain began wondering if this was some cruel prank, but surely Grass wouldn't play a prank like this. She yelped as a wolf tackled her. It was cloaked in mud and she couldn't see its eyes in the darkness. She struggled to get free and realized that it was the same size as her. An apprentice? But why would an apprentice be attacking her? She clawed wildly at the wolf as it leaned down to bite her throat, but she knew that the mud cloaking it was blocking her claws as they tried to find skin. "Let her go!" screeched a sound from across the river bank. Suddenly, a white she-wolf leapt at the mud-covered wolf, clawing at its back and hanging on despite the mud-soaked wolf's thrashing. To Rain's horror, she saw that Bird and the muddy figure were unwarily rolling towards a nearby ledge. Rain knew that the ledge led down to a rocky waterfall with mist that would quickly stain red. Rain closed her eyes, not wanting to witness the slaughter of her friend. She heard a shriek as the two wolves plummeted down the ledge. Rain opened her eyes as adrenaline blazed as she ran for the cliff, gaining momentum as she leapt at the edge and plummeted down towards the mist. She could faintly see Bird falling closer and closer to the rocks at the end of the waterfall as they both plummeted. But Rain had an advantage. She had wings. She tucked her wings like a falcon would if they were hunting prey. She saw the mud-soaked wolf fly above her, back to solid ground, and Rain wished she could do the same. But she had to save Bird. She had saved her. Rain dove so fast that tears spilled from her eyes, but she managed to catch up to Bird. Now how did she carry her? Rain knew that grabbing Bird by the scruff might just tear her head off, and Rain really didn't want to be traumatized. Rain saw that Bird was still conscious and realized that she might just have to put her life in danger and trust Bird to save her. But it was the only way that they could both live. Rain dove down under Bird and allowed Bird to fall on her back, but in doing so, Rain plummeted to the water. Rain knew that she was moving much less quickly than Bird would have, and therefore she would only be knocked unconscious by the water, but she hoped that Bird would be able to swim her to the shore. But it was a risk even though she had to take. Rain flapped her wings to slow the momentum of her fall, although she couldn't complete a full flap because Bird was on her back. Rain splashed into the water and kicked her legs, although her heavy waterlogged wings made it very hard for her to swim, and she soon sank farther towards the sandy water. She could see Bird swimming down to reach her. Bird's webbed feet gracefully propelled her through the water. Bird's fur also was meant for swimming, and it was shorter like an otter's. Rain's vision grew darker and darker from the oncoming unconsciousness and the pain, and, of course, the drowning, as she sank deep into the water. The last thing she saw before losing consciousness was Bird grasping her in her